And babe, you're not going to want to miss this. New Red Sox drama just dropped. It feels just like the old days. You know, the Red Sox make a big money signing and it's immediately followed by drama. That's what this is supposed to be. That's what the Red Sox are supposed to be, baby. That's the Red Sox I grew up on. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's the Red Sox my dad grew up on and his dad grew up on. We just didn't get the big money signings until my childhood. And then the drama always followed. And of course, I'm talking about the major news out of Red Sox camp today, which is that they have signed Adam Ottavino to a minor league deal. Welcome back, Northeastern Zone Adam Ottavino. Oh yeah, and there's also this problem with their franchise player and one of the biggest signings in baseball history monetarily, Rafael Devers and Alex Bregman. Bregman comes in as a Gold Glove winning third baseman last year, Gold Glove winning third baseman, and Red Sox fans have certainly seen his defensive prowess facing the Astros a couple of times in the postseason. He could still spin it a little bit. He's got the Gold Glove to prove it. But don't tell Rafi Devers that. I think we've been trying to figure out since the Bregman signing who was going to play where and kind of how that was going to work. And for a while now, there have been these rumors of you got to move Rafi Devers off third base. And I agree with that. Like there's no way that he can just play third base the rest of his career. It's not going to happen, especially with this contract running through age, 37, 38, whatever it is. Like sooner or later, brother, you are going to not be playing third base. In fact, you're probably not going to be playing the field at all. And there's been kind of the rumor that he would move to first and move Casas to DH. And I don't really get that. Casas is a fine first baseman. I don't know why you would just kind of shoehorn Devers in there, but I guess it's a value thing. It's a money thing. You can't be paying a DH that much money. I disagree on that, but we'll talk about that later. When asked about it, at camp yesterday, Rafi Devers, through an interpreter, said, third base is my position. It's what I play. I don't know what their plans are. Like, I know we had a conversation. I made it clear what my desires were. And yeah, whatever happens from here, I don't know. And then Dan Shaughnessy asked how he would feel about playing DH. Here's Rafi's response.
How would you react if they asked you to DH? How would you feel about that?
No.
Can you translate that, please?
Very mature response there from Rafi Devers. No, I'm not going to DH. Why would I? Why would I help the team by DHing here and keeping probably our best infield defensive asset right now at his position, at a more important position? And I'm talking about Alex Bregman at third base. So that was Devers' response. And here's Cora's response to Devers' response. The manager weighing in.
He said when he signed the long-term extension that you guys said that he'd be the third baseman long-term. Do you think the relationship is strained right now? He doesn't seem happy that, like, the team has gone back on their word. Strange between...
Different people here, right? There's a different leader here. So, Haim is in St. Louis right now.
Different family now, Rafi. This is not the GM that guaranteed you, apparently, that you were going to play third base for the extent of this contract. I like Chaim Bloom. I think he's a really smart guy. I doubt that he gave that kind of guarantee, but that's what Rafi's saying, basically. I had a contract negotiation with Chaim Bloom, this 10-year deal, $30 million a year, and I told him I was going to play third base. And a couple years later, 1 year later, there's a new sheriff in town. There's a new GM there. And what surprises me about all of this is the fact that we're having this discussion in mid-February. Bregman was just signed, but this rumor was out there the whole offseason. In fact, the position players that the Red Sox were rumored for the most were Bregman and Nolan Arenado, 2 third basemen. Not 1, 2. So how does it get to this point where Devers is talking to the assembled media and saying, no, I'm not moving off of third base. What are you guys talking about? How does it get to that? How have they not had discussions throughout this offseason? And guess what? Maybe they have, because you'll remember Rafi left camp last week. He came in before he needed to report, before mandatory reporting for position players. And then he left and came back when he had to come back. You think this might be why? You think this might be a reason why? And I can understand why Devers is saying this if there was this kind of guarantee that was in there. And some people don't love Cora's response to it. I don't mind it particularly. Because I like the way a GM builds a team rather than a manager does. But you've also got to remember, like, Cora is supposed to be this player's guy, the one that the players will listen to all the time. Like, why hasn't he had this discussion with Rafael Devers? Why is this just coming out now? And, you know, again, maybe they have had some sort of discussion throughout the offseason, but not enough to have this guy realize what's at stake for him these next couple of years positionally until we get into camp. And next off, why does Rafael Devers want to play third base so bad? I mean, he's not good at it. It's not a long-term future. You can go and become the highest paid DH in the league by default because you're not a really good third baseman. They went out and they got a really good third baseman. So why doesn't he want a DH? That I don't understand. Like, go call up your buddy David Ortiz. He'll tell you. It's not a bad life DHing your whole career. You can get in the Hall of Fame. That's possible. So I don't understand why this is such a big deal for him, because he has to know that writing is on the wall. He's one of the worst defensive third basemen in baseball. It took years just to get him kind of up to speed to be sometimes league average. But right now, he's not league average. His range is terrible. His outs above average, it's -6. He's in the 8th percentile in the entire league in that stat. 8th percentile at all positions. Arm strength, 48%. 48th percentile, I should say. Below average arm for third base. That's kind of an important part of this, by the way. And you want to get down to not just the positionally, like when he's not throwing to the right place or his arm strength's not that great, his range ain't that great. That doesn't take into account errors, right? Errors, we know, you got to get a glove on it these days to be called an error. So the range and the arm strength doesn't even encapsulate the literal errors he's making in the field, which since 2017, the year Rafael Devers entered the league, he has the most errors in the league in that span for infielders, or third baseman, I should say. Most in the league. He has 141 in that span. The second most in that same span, in that 7-year span, Eugenio Suarez has 87. He is 54 behind him. Is that right? Am I doing the math right there? 54 spots behind him. 54 less errors as the second most erred third baseman in the league. His outs above average is -29. His defensive run saved is -62. And some of you might be saying, "Oh, I don't know how to stack the, these are nerd stats." Okay, all right, fine. Let's just do a comparison tool. By the way, let's just do a comparison tool to Alex Bregman in that same span. Rafael Devers committed 141 errors. Alex Bregman has committed 73. Defensive run save for Devers -62. For Bregman, it's +21. 83 runs difference there. Outs above average, -29 for Devers, +20 for Alex Bregman. There's no debate here who the third baseman should be. The franchise player should be Rafael Devers, but the damn third baseman should be the one who knows how to play this position better than almost anybody else in the league. And better than anybody in the league as recently as last year, as recently as 2024. I don't even know how this has become a debate, a discussion. And I don't know what Rafi's going to do. I mean, look, they tell you you're going to DH that day, you're going to DH that day. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. And I always thought it was lunacy to think like, oh, you're going to bring in Alex Bregman for, again, a 3-year for 120. It's a little bit different. It's backloaded. It's 1-year deals. But essentially, you're paying the guy $30 million this year. He's the best third baseman defensively in the American League. And you're going to tell him to play second base, a position he hasn't played, a position with much less defensive value than third base, the one he's actually really good at. That didn't ever make sense to me, especially when your probably number one prospect right now, the most major league ready, Christian Campbell, is coming up to play second base. He is a second baseman. Rafael Devers is the odd man out of this picture, and that's a good thing for the Red Sox defensively. Now, everyone but Paul Perillo agrees that third base is a very important defensive position. Paul Perillo went on Felgert Maz yesterday and said that, you can make an argument that second base is more important. I don't know what sport he's mixing up with baseball, but there's no one that will tell you that second base is a more important defensive position than third base. No chance. So I don't understand. I never understood this thought process of, oh, let's put Bregman at second. Like, look, Rafi, it comes for us all at some point. You've got a DH. And if you want to say that, oh, you need to put Masataka Yoshida there because he can't play the friggin' outfield, that's where the real mistake is with the Red Sox. Not signing Alex Bregman when you already, quote-unquote, had a third baseman. The problem is you spent all this money on Yoshida, and he can't play the goddamn field anywhere. He's as bad a corner outfielder as Rafael Devers is a third baseman. You've got your parts here. You figure something out with Yoshida. I personally love to get rid of him. But Casas is your first baseman. Devers is your DH. Bregman's your third baseman. Christian Campbell is hopefully your second baseman. And I guess for now, Rafael is your shortstop. Oof. Hopefully Marcelo Meyer by next year. And if Christian Campbell's not ready on opening day, and you want to put Bregman at second base, it's not the worst thing in the world because you don't have any other second baseman. Maybe you could go put Bregman back at his college position, put him at shortstop, and Sedana at second base. I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't get the, hey, let's put Bregman at second base, but that's only with the mindset of Christian Campbell's going to be ready to play, which is not a guarantee. But I just don't think Devers has any real pull here. Like if they tell you you're DHing, you're DHing. What's he going to do?